What's poppin', y'all? This is DJ with One Shot Game, man. You already know how the motto go. You get one shot at life, but a lifetime to learn all the game you need to help improve your life. The choice is yours on which route you choose to take. Now, as I always say, you get two choices. The ability to faithfully settle for the life that has been set out for you, or to pave the path towards your destiny. That choice is also up to you. So before I get into the title of my video, I want to say a big shout out to all my supporters. You guys are great. And even the ones behind the scenes, I see y'all too. So listen, the title of this video is going to be on the fact that you can tell right off the back when a parent, or just say any human, has not resolved some issues inside themselves. You know what I'm saying? Because usually those issues are passed down to their children. You know what I'm saying? And if you do not work on trying to heal those issues, or allowing your children to be them in their own space, you subconsciously, unconsciously pass down that programming to them. You know what I'm saying? Again, I expressed it in my last video. If you weren't whole, and I'm just speaking from experience, I wasn't whole when I had my child. It didn't take for me to understand that it was things I couldn't understand and process about her behavior and why she was acting a certain type of way. And I started to realize that's because those are the very things that affected me when I was her age. So now that I'm older, you have a chance to react differently to those things instead of reacting the same. You know what I'm saying? Because oftentimes they're only challenging you because they don't understand that you're expressing maybe the traumas that you haven't healed at that age to them now that you're grown. You know what I'm saying? And it tends to lead to depression. It tends to make them feel insecure. You feel me? And I'm just speaking from my experience when I say oftentimes women with girls, it's like sometimes you treat that daughter as your op, when in reality it only seems like she's your op because she's just like you. Y'all are just the same. Y'all mirror each other. But you didn't know how to process yourself at her age. And so you're getting mad at her because she's acting like you. You know what I'm saying? You have to be willing to understand how to choose a different way to react to that behavior. Because if you're choosing to act the same way you did when you were that age, or you never healed it and you just grew up and you were still the same, you're gonna react that same way to them, and they're gonna counteract against that, and it's gonna be like cats and dogs. You know what I'm saying? Or you're not gonna want the best for them because you're not whole inside yourself. You feel me? You're gonna basically predict how your life was onto them. And the same for women with boys. You know what I'm saying? That boy is not his daddy. Forget about the problems you had with the dad. This is a human that you brung into life. Uplift that boy. You know what I'm saying? Empower him. Help him to be great. He is not his daddy. You know what I'm saying? He may have traits like him, but neither one of y'all were healed when y'all made a human. So now accept it for what it is. You know what I'm saying? And come at it and approach it differently. Listen, I grew up in an environment, and probably the people before me, where the insecurities that were inside them were passed on to the children. You got to think of how that creates mental illnesses. You know what I'm saying? Not feeling valid, not feeling whole, you feel me, feeling depressed. And then you control them. You basically tell them how their life has to be without letting them be free to experience life on their own. It's a difference in parenting when it comes to controlling and protecting. For me personally, you know what I'm saying? I grew up in an era where it wasn't good to tell other parents how to raise their kids. And so, you feel me? I just basically do me with mine and how I choose to raise her. Otherwise, we're going to be fighting all the time. You know what I'm saying? It's to let her be free to experience life how she wants. But listen, there's also certain things that you need to work on so that you're able to love who you are, so you won't feel as if trauma is love, because you'll accept that as a form of how you need to be treated. I don't care if you my daughter or not, you're still a human that should be deserving of respect and honesty and truthfulness. You know what I'm saying? And love, which means I'm your first teacher. So I'm going to teach you how to accept that from other people without harboring you and controlling you and making you feel as if you got to do it the way I say do it. No, you don't. You do not. You know what I'm saying? But also at the same time, if you let them have too much freedom, they'll start thinking they can do whatever they want. No, you still have to follow rules in this world. You can't just go around doing whatever you want because you feel as if you the queen tut around this motherfucker. No, you got to be able to do things by following the rules and, you know what I'm saying, respecting people like how you would want to be respected. You know what I'm saying? You can't just be walking around not giving out respect, but you want people to respect you. It's not going to work like that. You feel me? So it's different for a lot of people. A lot of people, they like different, but they also look at it as a rejection in a way, because it's like, damn, I wish that I could just, you can. It's just something inside of people that fights them from actually being able to accept the fact that, listen, I have the right to make a different turn. I can make a different step. I can choose to go a different way. You know what I'm saying? I can choose to raise an extended version of me in a different way by basically clearing and healing my trauma. I had to do a lot of introspection on myself, man. I have not always been the perfect parent, and I'm okay with admitting that, and I guiltied myself a lot for it. And sometimes when your child is healing, they'll make you feel like you the most fucked up shit on the planet. You feel me? But you have to come to terms with who you are, because everybody has the chance to make mistakes and come back. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it takes time. You know what I'm saying? And you got to be willing to understand that healing is a process. But when you heal, they subconsciously do the same. And what happens is it'll be less bickering back and forth. Because really, the bickering only comes from when they're a past version of yourself that you may have passed. And you don't know, you didn't even know how to deal with it when you was that age. So you come at it as if they're triggering you. You know what I'm saying? Instead of coming at it in the healed version that you are, don't entertain it. Let it go. You know what I'm saying? They're upset. They're still trying to process the development. You know what I'm saying? That it's hard for them to understand sometimes what you may be saying. But when you go back and forth, that means you're still triggered. You're not healed like you say you are if you're still going back and forth with an adult between a child. You know what I'm saying? It's too bad already that a lot of them grew up in toxic environments. So they basically know how to act like adults, even though they're children. Which means at some point you have to understand a different approach to the old version of themselves that they're still trying to figure out. You know what I'm saying? Do not entertain it. Let it go. Walk away. And the more that you do that, the more it helps them understand that no matter what, even if they react that way, they will not get the old version of you. They will get the version of you that does not tolerate that. You know what I'm saying? But if you're still triggered by it, you're going to go back and forth with them like they some, excuse my language, trick off the street. This is not a trick off the street. This is your child. This is a kid you brung into this world. We all know that if you didn't want kids, you should have protected yourself. But because you didn't, this is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Understand how to process it and go through it, because long after you leave this earth, they're gonna be here, and these are extensions of you. This is your bloodline. This is your legacy. This is who you are. So whatever you teach to them will be passed down to the children after you. And you listen, it'll feel good to be looking down and knowing that you may have made a mistake, but you gave it your all when it was time to recover. You know what I'm saying? They were able to live their life the way they wanted to without feeling like they had to be what you want them to be. Listen, my daughter is completely girly. I'm not girly in every aspect, but I allow her to be her. You know what I'm saying? She likes different things than I like. Just because I have an opinion about them doesn't mean don't do them. That's what you like. Still do that. You feel me? I just have the right to have my own opinion. You do not have to do what I say do, or because I don't like it. Just because I'm your mom doesn't mean I want you to do what I'm doing. No. You know what I'm saying? You're an individual. You're just a part of me. But you're your own person. Be that. So you can be happy with your life. When I'm old and in a rocking chair, you won't be getting mad at me because you lived a life to make me happy. I'm not here to make you happy. You're not here to make me happy. You're here to make you happy. You know what I'm saying? So listen, I'm gonna let you do it. All if it's in the realms of protecting you. You're not gonna be your age acting 46. So some things you're not gonna be okay to do. You know what I'm saying? That's me being a parent. But again, You had the freedom to be who you are. I'm going to stand behind you 100%. Whatever you like, I love. And if I feel some type of way about it, I'm going to tell you. That don't mean stop doing it. I'm still going to support you. I just wouldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. I'm your mom. I'm not somebody you got to follow in my footsteps and live out the legacies that I didn't live out. That's not who I want you to be. Because then what happens is they grow up and then they start hating you because they lived their whole life doing what you wanted them to do instead of doing what they truly wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? I don't want her to be upset with who she is once she gets older. You know what I'm saying? You just as much value as I am. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to teach you how to treat yourself as such. Teach you how to let other people respect you and treat you in the way that you should be treated. And sometimes after you repeat it for so many times, it's like school. Sometimes you can repeat things so many times. It's not that they don't get it. It's just because it's you telling them that and they feel controlled. So then you got to just let them go off and experience. They'll experience something similar to exactly what you just said. And they'll be able to look at it from their own lens, instead of from someone telling them this is how it has to be. It's like school, you know what I'm saying? Some lessons the teachers taught, I think it was the way they was teaching it. I didn't get it, you know what I'm saying? But then I'd have someone come in and teach it to me a different way and I would understand it. I don't know why it's like that, but life lessons is like that too. You know what I'm saying? As long as it is not in the way of them hurting themselves and you protect them, sometimes some lessons have to be learned for them on their own. You know what I'm saying? And you become afraid because you feel as if you lack it on your parenting or your level of protection. No, that's not the case. It's just some people learn differently. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you grew up in toxic environments where you felt controlled. You don't really like people telling you what to do. You kind of got to figure things out on your own. You know what I'm saying? And listen, I promise you, kids don't want to be apart from their parents. They really need their parents for real, and they love them to death. You know what I'm saying? It just looks like maybe rebellion if you have some triggers inside of you. You still ain't healed inside yourself. But if you know deep down inside your parents did the best they could from the level of understanding that they had, and you forgive them from any areas of your life where you may have felt less than, you'll be able to move on and change the things that you weren't happy with for your life and your children's life. You know what I'm saying? But don't hold that guilt in towards them, because now it makes them feel like they messed up of a person. They not. They only raised you from what they knew. They didn't know no better. You know what I'm saying? But now that we're in a different world and we're in a different time zone, you know what I'm saying, it's kind of like as if your darkness is what you got to look at to be able to improve. If you keep hiding and acting like ain't nothing wrong with you and you just this perfect person, you'll never be able to come to terms with who you truly are for real. Because none of us deep down is perfect. You know what I'm saying? And you got to be able to own those insecurities about yourself, so that when somebody come in and try to throw some dirt or some salt on you, you just let it roll off. I don't give a fuck what you talking about. That don't offend me. I done already came to terms with the fact that I did something I wasn't proud of, but I did it. You feel me? And that's what it was. And I'm still here. I'm still breathing. I still have a chance to, you know what I'm saying, correct my wrongs. If I don't like it, that means change it. That means go a different route. You know what I'm saying? But I think the ability to be free, the ability to know that you don't have to take nothing from nobody as far as disrespect, manipulation, controlling, you know what I'm saying? And the only way you set the tone is by setting the tone for yourself. Because sometimes the soul, it doesn't talk. It only understands through action, which means you can say all the things in the world that you want, but if you're not standing up to what you're talking about, the soul won't learn. And secretly, they'll do the very thing that you told them not to do. You know what I'm saying? The soul is silent. It's an energetic vibration of you basically subtracting yourself away from the things that hurt you and completely cutting them off. If people can't give you what you require on an emotional level, emotional abuse will no longer be tolerated over here. You know what I'm saying? And and when that happens, then you'll be able to not allow an extended version of your soul put up with emotional abuse. You know what I'm saying? It's difficult for people to understand because we ain't never been taught it. But I think now is the time we understand that Only you have the ability to set yourself free. You know what I'm saying? Be okay with who you are. Be okay with the choices you made, and just understand you can now make different ones. It's a way you go about it. You know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid. Take a leap of faith. You know what I'm saying? So listen, if you don't know what it is, I told you. Please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe.